Hello, and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video number 35. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and my companion, as always, is Rose Heck. Hi, Rose.
Hi, Janice.
How are you today?
I'm a little under the weather, but we're trooping through.
You said you're fighting off a toothache.
Yeah, just had a split tooth and have a temporary crown in there. So yeah, we're looking at getting better. So
good.
A bit of drugs helps.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear you're on the mend.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to in the month since we've had our last visit?
Boy, it's a month that feels like about 3 months for some reason. And I think because I've been living vicariously through your escapades, we'll get to that, but I'm doing some camping and cross-stitch knitting. I started a fun pair of socks, and what else? I don't know, working a bit. That's about it.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing progress on your stitching projects a little bit later.
Yeah.
I have done very little stitching in the last month, but my garden's planted. We got some other things done, and I was in Italy for 2 weeks. So yeah, we went on Jeanette Douglas's land tour of Florence and Tuscany, and it was wonderful. And I loved every minute of it, and we had some great experiences. Jeanette designed a little project for those that attended the tour, and so this is the sum total of my stitching for this month. And it's not quite done, but that's it. So it gets finished into a little box, and yeah, so a few more cross stitches over one, grapes to go in there, and then it'll be done.
That's sweet.
Yeah. But other than that, it's been kind of a dry stitching spell, but we'll talk about that a little bit later too. So we're here today, we're going to talk about our Lucy Barber stitch along, the Hannah Campbell stitch along, some shop stuff, and I have a special parade of linens today, and some special things that I brought in for an upcoming retreat, and then we'll talk about plans. So could be a little bit of a long visit.
Okay.
But let's start with Lucy.
Sounds good.
So this is our Traditional Stitches exclusive Lucy Barber Sampler from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And we are already going into month number 5, I think, hey?
Yes, I made sure I did know that this time. Okay, so I will show the little synopsis. And that is, it's basically a repeat of month 3. Let's see, sorry. So there is month 5. So you've got the 3 flower baskets and the border. And when I say 3, you may want to finish that one up. If you're like me, you don't like leaving, you know, the stem and the base languishing. So I actually started last evening because I'm going away on the weekend, and I thought, let's get a head start on this puppy. So this is her thus far. Of course, month 4 was that middle part. That was fun. I thought it would be, you know, like, oh my goodness, but it was fun. And so we're going to just continue on to the edge here.
That looks great, Rose.
So as my hubby said, he says, those colors are just delicious. They're so nice and bright. And they are, but it's not like I need to get my sunglasses on bright. So
well,
yeah.
Rob gets points for paying attention.
He really does. I've noticed that the last year or two. So still trying to convince him to pick up a needle and try, but not happening. Yeah.
I'm familiar with that. Cool. So we're going to do month number 5 from now until July 14th. And then July 14th, we'll have another video and talk about month number 6. But month number 5 is pretty straight up. It's just cross stitch over 2. Nothing new in there. And yeah, that's great.
Right. I don't need to explain anything on this one. So if you were able to do month 3, then month 5 will be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right. So can we talk about Hannah Campbell now, please?
Yes, we can. Let me just track her down.
Hmm.
Okay.
So the stitch along for the Hannah Campbell Sampler, which is this one from Hands Across the Sea Samplers, started on the 1st of June. And we've seen a couple finishes in the Facebook group, but
I know.
I just love seeing the photos of the sampler come together. It just makes my fingers itch to stitch. Mm-hmm. So did you start?
I did. I believe I got the first month done. I realized I don't have it in the bag. So let me lean over just a second and I will grab her. I'm organized to a degree. Okay. So I'm working this on 46 count and I hope I'm not sorry on that one with the 103s. So that is just the first month. Bring it up closer.
Looks great.
Yeah.
And is it just as much fun to stitch as I imagine it is?
Yes. Sorry. I really did enjoy, and I had thought that border would kind of be monotonous, but it isn't. And I've been reading, people have been asking how to do the border and what works best. And the way I've done it is having 2 needles threaded, the red and the green, and I just exchange back and forth. So I'll park one, work on the other, and then just make sure.
So you're talking about like this bar that goes across. Right,
exactly. So I don't know if I can show it here. Sorry, I'm a little unprepared. Yeah, it's not going to really show. But when you're parking one color, you're going to stitch the other one and you're going to stitch over the park thread underneath. So you never have to flip over and weave your ends in. So it works really well. The only place you just have to watch out for is when you come to these little, these little corners here. And so just make sure you might have to change things a little bit, but play around with that. Now, some people may not like doing that, the parking and going back and forth, and that's fine. If you need to just put in one color and then switch out to the other color, that's fine too.
Well, it always helps to have a few tips for efficiency, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think the more you stitch, the more efficiency you learn, those little tricks. So I'm happy to share anything, but I'm also happy to learn from somebody else if they've got little tips and tricks that they want to share.
So it's not that stitching is necessarily about the speed, it's about how many different things you can stitch on if you're efficient.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, I've been resisting, but I feel my willpower is waning. When I finished Lucy Barber and took her off the stand, I thought, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to finish up some small projects and put the last stitches into some other projects. But I'm finding that without a big sampler on my stand, I'm just not sitting down to stitch. It's just not calling to me the same way. So since I've finished Lucy, I have done almost no stitching. And so I'm thinking that I should just mount up a big brand new project and go to it.
You know yourself, and it sounds like that's exactly what it is. You're drawn to the bigger projects, and the little ones, I will put them in, but they're not my primary. My primary is big projects. So.
All right, well, we'll see. I'll report back on that. We have most of the supplies for Hannah available in the shop, and we are waiting for more to arrive. There's Lakeside Linen should be here maybe even tomorrow, and then we'll hopefully get a silk order from Access next week that has more. So maybe once I fill all the orders and I have some extra supplies, maybe that'll help me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are our ongoing stitch alongs, and Facebook groups are awesome for both of those samplers. So we strongly encourage you to join the group and get involved, read the posts, because they're really wonderful to follow along with.
They are, and they're helpful, very helpful.
Definitely, it's great groups. All right, so a little bit about what's going on in the shop. Our big event on horizon is next week already. We're going to the Stitch and Stash retreat in Edmonton. So that is about a 3-hour drive away from where our shop is located. So we're going to go up there the Thursday morning in the wee hours and get set up and hopefully be ready to go by about lunchtime. And there are going to be 125 keen and eager stitchers there, waiting to spend the weekend together and see what the boutique has to offer. So we're actually taking 2 SUVs full of traditional stitches loot to the retreat, and so we'll see how that goes. So it goes from Thursday to Sunday, and it's totally sold out, and it is only people who are registered for the retreat can actually come in and visit and see the boutique and stuff, which liability reasons and stuff, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But they're already talking about plans for the retreat for 2024. So I suggest that you join the Facebook group if you think that a trip to Edmonton for a stitching retreat sounds good. And I'll link that in the description box below, and then you can join us. So I have brought in a little bit of special product for the retreat, but I'm so excited about it that I'm going to share it in the video a little bit later. All right, so June is a little bit of a quieter month for us in the shop. People are in their gardens, school is getting over, graduations, summer holidays, that kind of thing. So we are appreciating a little bit of a chance to catch our breath and doing things like adding more product to the sales section of our website. We are making new grab bags that I'm going to take to the retreat next week. And so it just feels a little pretty good to get a little bit caught up and not be, I don't know what the word is. It's not that it's stressing or anything, but we just want to keep everybody happy. So we work really hard to do that the best that we can. But it feels kind of good to have a little bit of that pressure off right now and to get to do some other things. So I'm working on some website tweaks that should make the checkout process easier and just knocking things off my to-do list. And it sped up our order fulfillment timeframe a little bit too, as long as we can get some product. But right now we're just waiting for things to get shipped. So anyways. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is show you off my special linen parade for today. And then we'll talk about some of the special things for the retreat. So in the past, I've shown off hand-dyed linens that we had stock of that people might be interested in for kind of instant gratification or to stitch get their next project started. And last month, I showed off needle and flax linens, and they sold out in like 3 hours after I published the video. They were gone. And I thought I had a lot. So anyways, so they're all reordered and they're coming. They'll be here in a few weeks. But so what I would want to show off this month is not hand-dyed linen, but the beautiful color selections of legacy linen. So these come to us from Access Commodities in the States. And if you haven't had a chance to work with them before, they've got a beautiful body. They've got a nice thick thread in the warp and the weft so that it's just stands up to embroidery and just beautiful fabric. So I've created a special section on the website, and I'll link that below, that shows the legacy linen that we have in stock right now, ready to go in big cuts. So yard or more that we've got, and I'm just going to do a quick parade of the colors to show them to you. So these are in actual alphabetical order, which is how we keep them on the shelf in the shop so that we can find them easier, not necessarily in color order. This, and most of the ones that I've got here are the 37 and 38 count linens. The Legacy does also come in 30 count and in 45 count and in higher counts as well. But these kind of give you a good idea of the range of colors. So this is aesthetic white, and it's probably the truest white out of the stack that we've got. And you can't, there's no way in a video for me to show you the body of this fabric, but there's, try to close up of the weave, and it's just nice and thick. And have you worked with Legacy linen, Rose?
I have the 45 count, and you're right about the body and the thickness of the warp and the weft. It's very much there.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So then this is corn tassel, and it is one of our favorite samplery fabrics in the Legacy linen line. This is 37 count. Okay, now this one you might have to shade your eyes a little bit. This is called Bittersweet.
okay.
Yeah, but can you think like Halloween designs stitched in charcoal or fun,
It's a color that a lot of people have probably been trying to find. So,
yeah.
Lucy.
This is Russian tea cake, and it is a beautiful color as well. This is what a lot of our Ann Morrison samplers were done on, if you can remember back to those days. So just a really awesome color. And then this is Brewer's Malt, and it is a 38 count. So I can compare that with, this is the 37 corn tassel, so that you can see that the Brewer's Malt is a little bit brighter than the corn tassel. And being just 1 thread per inch different in the counts, they're quite substitutable if you needed to.
Right.
This is really pretty color. Druid Blue.
Oh,
And it's 38 count.
that is really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then 38 count Filbert. And this would be from the color family that we did the Linfoot sampler on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so quite often with the Legacy linens, they've got 30 count and a 37 or 38 count, and then 45 count that are essentially the same color, but they've got different names. So we'll get to an example of that further down, but the 38 Filbert, yeah, really nice.
So nice.
And oh, this one's pretty too. This is Heron Gray.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I have that in my stash.
Yeah, really nice gray. Soft, but still a good color. And oh, hey, show these guys together. This one's called Himalayan Fog, and it is like a really, really light taupe color. So compared to the Heron Gray, that would be.
Yeah, okay.
And then here's an example of different counts of linen that have the different names, but they're still in the same color family. So this is 38 Irish Coffee, and this is the Legacy linen that we've been kitting Hannah Campbell with.
Oh, okay.
As the alternate to the Lakeside linen.
Right.
And then this is Thai iced tea, which is the 45 count version, so that you can see that they're essentially identical. They just have different names for the different counts. But if you look at it with the Hannah Campbell sampler, you can see how that is just such a good choice of color for her.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I have, also very pretty, Vermeer Blue.
Oh, yes.
Nice. Yeah. So that's just a quick showing off of those Legacy linens so that people can see them and be drawn to them. And, you know, it's time in our supply chain when sometimes you want to use a hand-dyed linen, but it's maybe just not that available. So there's lots of other choices. And you could always touch these up with a little bit of a coffee or a tea dye too to make them a little bit more model-y, but always an option.
That's exactly right.
Now is the part of the video where I can share with you the special things that I've brought in for the retreat. And mind you, this is just a sampling, but I did want to share it with our video viewers as well. So one thing that we got was a very special shipment of fripperies from Minnie McBean in the UK. So we're really excited to get those, and we said to Susan, just send us an assortment of what you've got and they will love them. And so we've got them listed on our website, and I'll link to that below, but I'm going to show a few of them off here. So the first one is the natty pins.
Oh, yeah.
So we have them available in a few different color combinations, and so they've got the 3 charms, and then a tiny little bezel that has an image, and then a jewel on each one. And so there's different colors available of that. And so this kilt brooch is about 2.25 inches wide. And you can use it as a brooch, as a name tag pin on your shirt, a scarf pin, or just to embellish your stitching bag. So they're very pretty and very special. Yeah. Another thing that she sent us were these scissor pin brooches, which you could use exactly the same as the natty pin. Name tag holder. It's got a single pin in the back of it, so it might even work better for that, or just to have close at hand on your stitching bag. Anyways,
Cool.
so pretty. Yeah. And then some mini scissor pulls or fobs. This one happens to be a heart locket, and on the reverse it's kind of just got heart shapes on the back of it. And so there's 4 different styles of this, and they're, you can see the scale compared to my hand. And so a zipper pull or a scissor fob. Other thing I like to put good size fobs on like this is like my low-ran needle threader, something that's tiny that tends to get lost. I can find it way easier with something like that. And then we got some scissor fob, thread ring, your choice, and a whole bunch of different styles. And the style, they all have an image in the bezel that coordinates with the Hands Across the Sea Sampler's sampler. So there's 2 different bezel shapes. We've got hearts and we've got rounds. And this round happens to be from the Elizabeth Bevan sampler from Hats, an image from it. And then it's got some charms and a dangle and a pretty jewel on it. And there's a nice assortment of those on our website as well. So just so special. And then this is an example of the heart-shaped one. And it's got a nice purple jewel on the back and some dangly. And this is from the Memories of the Past sampler, also from Hats.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
As an example. Yeah. So those are fun, limited availability kinds of things that we just brought in for the occasion. And then, page 5. So a few weeks ago, I went to Acorns and Threads in Portland and took a Jeanette Douglas class there. And Lisa and I were lucky enough to sit across the table at the workshop from a lady named Corey. And she had provided some of the gifty items for Janine's event at Acorns. And I was already thinking about the upcoming retreat. So I asked her if she could do some things for us. So in between then, which is not very far away, and this week, she sewed us like 200 project bags and shipped them to us. Yeah. So
wow.
you've made project bags yourself, so you know how much work is involved.
Project bags.
So she was a machine getting them done.
Wow.
So we brought them in for the retreat, And I have been racking my brain trying to figure out what an effective way to put them onto our website is, because every one of them, lots of them have the same main fabric, but every one of them has a different lining fabric. And so I put them up on the website today and I said, tell us what your favorite color is. Is it pink? Is it teal? Tell us if you like floral things, or just say Janice's choice. And they're all so beautiful that there's no way you could go wrong. And then, so if somebody orders more than one style of an item, we're going to match the main fabric for them, but the lining fabrics will probably be different. And really it doesn't matter because you got stuff in there, you're not going to see them, the lining fabrics. But I'm going to show you some examples here so that you can see how beautifully they're sewn and how great of a job Corey did in matching colors.
Cool.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first thing is a thread bed. So if you're familiar with these, they're, it feels like felt, but it's pretty thin felt. And the idea is when you're stitching, you kind of lay your tails out here. And then when you have to pack up for the night or set it aside, you just enclose them and snap them. And then you've got all of your tails together. So, and this, so she even made these traditional stitches tags for all of them for us, which is so cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so like this would be a floral print. So that's the thread.
Very pretty.
Yeah. And really nice corners, mitered corners. And they just, this one is sewn with a variegated thread that just picks up all of the colors that are in the fabric. And I'm so thrilled with the way that they turned out.
That's cool.
Okay, so thread bed. And then this is the small bag. So all of the bags have a zipper pull. And this would be an example of main fabric. Is that. And then a really well chosen lining fabric for the inside of the bag. And then opens up like that. So this is a small bag. And then I just love this one. Medium bag. Actually, I think this is the large bag. I maybe didn't grab a medium bag from the shop to show, but this is the large bag and it's 14 by 12. And again, just really well coordinated with beautiful zipper pull. And the bags themselves have been stiffened so that they're going to stand up to a little bit of abuse. I know I took mine with me on the trip to Italy with my pie in the sky hopes of getting some stitching done. And it stood up really well and looks just as great now as it did before. So
I'm sure it stood really pretty and that's about it.
Yeah. Anyway, oh well.
Oh well.
So that's the large bag. And then this is a jumbo bag, an example, with handles and fabric covered buttons. And it's 16 by 15. And just like putting those fabrics together, I think it's just awesome.
Yeah, that's substantial.
Yeah, so, and just, again, really nicely done corners, and I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon. And then this is the gift that we got when we went to Acorns that I thought was just awesome. And it is essentially a placemat for you to use when you're sitting at a class or workshop or even at your kitchen table. So it's folded up. It's like that size.
Ooh.
And then you open it up on the inside. And this is actually got cork in it so that you can put your sweaty Starbucks cup on it and it will absorb your condensation while you're sitting at your class and you don't have to worry about a wet spot on your table. And then in here are a couple little magnets so you can put your needles there. And clasp for your scissors or your lower end threader or whatever right there. And then you can just close it and snap it together to put your project away.
Cool.
Clever, hey?
Yeah, it is very clever.
Yeah. And then it's lined with that same felt that the thread beds
Yeah.
were. So it's a little bit grippy for your things.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what is used for that. And you're right, it's not a felt. It might be some sort of a quilting
Batting or
product,
something.
a batting of some sort, but I'm not, don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody knows.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
Aren't those cool?
Yeah.
So we're going to take, I have 2 boxes full of them. We're going to take them up to the retreat in Edmonton. And I don't think I'm going to be bringing very many back.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
But like I say, we've got them set up on our website in an experimental method for people to have a look and see about placing orders if it's something that they really are interested in. So there's a link to that below.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. All right, so a couple other things in the shop. So even though it is a quieter time of year for us, we are seeing some summer releases from some of our favorite designers, Teresa Kogod, Paulette at Plum Street Samplers, Kathy Barrett Designs. So be sure to check out the website for those kinds of things. We're also, because we are doing a little bit of housekeeping, we're finding some linens, hand-dyed linens, that we maybe didn't get added to the website when they first came in, but we're getting to add them now. So there's some treasures there for sure. The virtual marketplace is going to be at the end of August, and that'll be here before we know it. And we're going to start seeing sneak peek pretty soon, I think, for that. And then before we know it, the busy fall, Halloween, Christmas, winter hibernation season is going to be on us. So we're going to enjoy the little bit of a quieter time while we can.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what else have you been stitching on?
A bunch of stuff, but I'll just show you. I know I've been showing Miss Marianne Bournes on and off, and she's one I hate putting down, but you know.
I want to see that V-skep.
It's let me just tighten it a bit, just to.
Okay.
So I didn't take it off. She's just loose on here because I have intentions of coming back to her when I can.
Oh, so, you got it done.
I got the V-skep done, yeah, in May. Wow. I was surprised. So I started the flowers here, and they actually went faster than I thought. So I think I started on the other side here just a bit. And then there is a massive base, and I guess it would be grass and stuff underneath that I think I'm avoiding because I know it's going to take me quite a while, but you never know. It's a really enjoyable stitch. So I love it. And then I've got a few other things that I'm juggling, but I didn't pull them up.
That looks great.
Thank you.
That's going to be a heck of an accomplishment because that was your New Year's start, right?
Yes. And, you know, in the past, I was always a monogamous stitcher, as you know. I'm not anymore. And I would have had this done by now. So it's like, oh, I just want to get it done, but I have to do these other things. And okay, well, we'll put it away. So by following a monthly plan, it kind of helps me focus and that I can go, okay, I've got that done. That's good. Okay, I can put it away and be happy. And I get to pull it out next month. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, our chat has really made me feel like stitching. So
good.
While the video is uploading, I'll see what I can get my hands on to. So what have you got planned for the next few weeks, Rose, till our next meeting?
I probably just, I go away on the weekend. I have a sister's getaway with 2 of my sisters and my sister-in-law, and we're going to Saskatchewan. Woohoo! I know.
Road trip.
Yeah, it will be a road trip. And so there won't be a lot of stitching. You know, I'm taking some knitting, taking an easy stitching and a book. And that's about it. And I hope I'm busy enough that I don't have to do too much of that. So,
yeah.
And yeah, and beyond that, I think we're coming up into July 1st, which is Canada Day here. And we're always involved with my kids and their vet clinic. They always put, not a float, but they use our truck and we go into the parade in the city that they live in.
Oh,
And we'll be participating in that. And, you know, putts around the house. I've got a bit of a garden going, and I haven't got anything out of it yet. Have you got anything out of your garden yet? Or
just a little bit of asparagus and some rhubarb so far,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it has been so hot here that I just think that things didn't get enough water to germinate. So I'll probably be replanting some of my vegetable garden seeds.
Yeah.
And so finally today we're getting some rain after an incredibly hot few weeks. And so I'm not complaining about that, because so many people in our province have been affected by forest fires and evacuated, and losses because of the forest fires. And a few years ago, we were evacuated due to a forest fire as well. So I can totally understand what those people are going through. And so I'm just glad that they're getting some rain today, and a good amount of rain today.
It is. It's been raining constantly all morning. I think probably all through the night, and it's like rain, just keep on raining.
Yeah, hopefully it lasts for a couple of days and gets that ground saturated again. And we also live in such an agricultural district that if our farmers could get a good amount of moisture, that would make a huge difference too.
Yeah, they did talk about that too last week, about how the farmers' fields, they're not, you know, up to where they are, and there's going to be some that it's a total write-off, which is really sad.
Yeah.
So.
So rain is good for them, and it's also good for stitching time. So we'll do that.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Rose. We'll be back about the 14th of July for the next installment of the Lucy Barber Stitch Along, and we will see you then.
See you, Janice. Take care.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.